Morning guys, welcome to Astral Diaries. You know what, I got about, I don't know, like a 10-minute walk. I'm like, why don't I shoot out a video here? It's a topic that came to mind, and maybe I should have done some preparation for this topic, but I'm just gonna wing it and let it come out as the way it's gonna come out. And that's regarding my thoughts about Darius J Wright, or as I like to call him, my boy D. I don't know, I just call him that in one of my videos. I wasn't even thinking about it. No, it's not going to be negative. So if you're somebody who's like, oh, I'm just going to be hating on the guy, nope, nothing but positive. So if you followed my channel, you might know this. If you're new, well, give you guys a little recap. I basically learned the basics of astral projection OBE as a teenager. Around the same age as Darius, about 16, 17. I was just fascinated by the idea of just traveling and stuff like that. I read a book, which turned out to be the worst book on the topic. I made a whole video about it. I can't even remember the name of it now. That's how bad it was. And then fast forward a couple years later, I was living in my grandma's house. I came across lucid dreaming, that book, the concept of it. Up until then, I just the idea, I'm like, oh my God, what? You can catch yourself in a dream? Man, how cool is that going to be? Like, I was just fascinated. And as a teenager, I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. I mean, this is before virtual reality and stuff like that. So I picked up a book and, exploring world of lucid dream. I've done a whole full video about that. By the way, I'm going to put all these in the description. Anything that I mention, I'll put in the description, like my own videos or anything that I reference. So with the help of this book, you got to realize I totally forgot about astral projection. When I was reading this book, my sole focus was lucid dreams, and I had my share of lucid dreams. And then, one night I find myself in vibrations, which was one of the scariest moments in my life. I got to do a whole separate video about that. So basically, I was starting to kind of project. It was usually to the side of the bed. There's a reason I'm telling you all this, man, because I'm kind of building it up. My experience, and then boom, when I saw Darius. So I'm kind of building this up for you guys. So please be patient. So, I was kind of making it to the side of my bed. And by the way, I didn't even have a bed. I had a small room at my grandma's house, my first ever individual room. In order to make extra space for some of the work I was doing a lot of different stuff. I was into a lot of crazy stuff, like rituals and stuff like that. I would basically put my mattress on the side of the wall and then put it on the floor when I would go to bed, and then raise it back up every morning. So when I would float, I wouldn't even be, it's not like I would float out of the bed. It was just kind of the side of the mattress, basically. I want to say one time, because I was having a lot of lucid dream around this time too, because that's the book I was reading. I want to say my first full-blown OBE, which I did at that time, I had no idea what's going on, was I did leave, floated or something, and I made it to the other room. There's like a Jehovah's Witness person here. I don't want them to hear me talk about freaking flying and walking through walls, which I'm about to do here. So let me avoid that guy. He'd be like, what the fuck is he talking about? Anyway, so yeah, I want to say my first full-blown astral projection OBE was when I became aware, floated or rolled out. I want to say float. I didn't know about rollout method. I went through the door, went to the living room, and I saw my grandma, who was living at the time, said something, and I knew I was in this experience. I just kind of ignored her, went right through the door again, and flew out of my window, and just saw some amazing sceneries. I want to say that was probably my first one, but I made a separate video about my first actual full-blown astral projection. I'll put that in the description too. And then, I kind of put this topic to the side because I was like, I at the time I was studying this author, which was kind of like the person who I really respect. I'm not going to mention his name, just personal. And even he said it's just imagination or whatever, like I wasn't sure what this astral projection, all the different planes. Because when I first heard about astral projection, I was like, basically you leave your body like a ghost. And I found out that was not the case. I'm like, okay, then this must be dreaming. This is kind of where Darius J Wright comes in. This is why I'm kind of building this up for you guys. So I put the topic on the shelf This is late 90s. Even like as early 2000, I was reading the book by William Buhlman, Robert Bruce, and my goal was to try to achieve like a astral projection on demand, and I never did it. And if it happened spontaneously, I never counted that. I'm like, oh, whatever, I have to learn how to do this on demand, and I could never, and I kind of gave up the topic. You know, started college, girlfriend, going out. It just got in the back burner. Okay, we're getting closer here to my boy D. So what happened is, fast forward, unfortunately I lost my father early 23. And you know, naturally you start questioning everything, and I started looking into all this medium and stuff like that. And I immediately, I don't know, I kind of sense fraud. Like I said before, even if there's like real mediums, most of them are fraud. Just cold reading, asking a bunch of questions here and miss, and sticking to whatever hits they get and then build on it. So that's my personal opinion. And I was just kind of sitting with a friend watching TV, and I was like, you know what? There's this thing I used to do as a teenager, astral projection. And I literally went upstairs, grabbed my books from, I don't know, they were all collecting dust, Robert Bruce, Astral Dynamic, William Buhlman. And then I went online. Okay, this is where we're talking about my boy D here. So, you know, I just kind of naturally search the topic, because I'm like, right now we have internet, YouTube, let's see what's out there. And I started, you know, researching astral projection. And when I did, you know, I came across one of the channels I came across, which I've never mentioned, unfortunately, is Astral Doorway by Gene Hart. A lot of good contents, man, that guy. So I was watching a lot of his stuff, and I kept seeing this kind of long-haired guy with beard. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? You know, like, I know Andre, one of his students, said the same thing, because I think he said when he first saw Darius, he was kind of like, hey, I don't want to listen to that guy. And my thing was the same thing. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Like, his photo would show up, and it's kind of like, okay, I want to make sure I'm good on time here. Okay, I think I'm good. Anyways, his photo would show up, kind of that long hair, beard, and almost like somebody who's trying too hard to come across as some mystical guy. You know, I just kind of avoided, never clicked on him until I did. And I don't know, I want to say it was his interview with DaveMara show or something. I can't think of his Dave something. It was him and Lisa M. Harrison. And as soon as Darius starts speaking, oh my God, it was so eye-opening. Like, he answered some of the questions I had, like the way his explanation of dimensional spaces and thought forms and stuff like that, all those made perfect sense. All of a sudden, like, I noticed that it's like somebody who's figured this out. Like, he's got a map of this, you know, and all of a sudden it made sense. Oh, okay, so when you first exit, what you see, those are thought forms, dimensional spaces. But, you know, like, there's a difference between astral projection, OBE. Astral projection is more around thought forms and dimensional spaces, whereas OBE is an actual exit. You can, you know, the real time and the verification that he's done with Lisa M. Harris, where he pretty much exits like 4 times in a row and confirms numbers. This was just eye-opening, man. Oh my God, like, and you know, fast forward, I watched him as his videos. You know, you gotta respect the guy. The way he's mapped this whole thing, the whole construct, and the way he's been able to access, like, he's done this on his own. It's not like he read some book, you know, to my knowledge. Whether this is all true, man, or all in his head, I don't care. The way this guy's been mapping this thing and what he's doing is, man, that must be appreciated. It's so refreshing. You know, when you listen to his interviews, you're just full of hope, you know, that there's something more, if not for you, for your loved ones. You gotta honor that, man. The guy has really mapped this thing like no one has ever. And that was kind of one of my questions. I'm gonna do another questions for Darius. Oh shit, leaf blowers. I did my 10 questions. I kind of rushed through that. This next one will be, I'll try to like put more thought behind it. I already have about 7-8 questions, so I'll do another video. Okay guys, let's see. But yeah, man, the way he's figured this out, like the halls of Amente, accessing informations, like he did a video recently about the pyramids, you know, like the stuff that's now been verified that he knew a long time ago. I mean, you gotta respect that, man. He's on to something, that's all I gotta say. And as far as this course, oh yeah, by the way, the reason I didn't join this course is because, I knew how to do this myself. But fast forward, the way, if anybody wants to join, like if I would consider it, it's because of, it's not only his Ayda method, the exit, which is around sleep paralysis, sitting still for 90 minutes. That's the basics of it. And then what you do and what you say, what you listen to, those things all part of the system, which I have no idea, but I guess you have to be, his student to know that. But access, he looks like he's next level when it comes to accessing things. And the other reason I didn't join is because even though Darius makes a difference between astral projection OBE, he said OBE is like a controlled near death or whatever. When I listened to his students, they were experiencing what I was experiencing, like those earlier testimonies. Now I'm not talking about Andre, Hector, and Corey. I think his name is Corey. What they're able to access, like they're actually getting closer and closer to Darius. But those initial testimonials, what they're experiencing is what I was experiencing. So that's why I was like, I can already do this. Why even bother joining? But again, accessing. And another thing I was going to say, man, I was going to do a video about this. I'm just going to throw it out. Yes, the course is, I think, anywhere from 300, 500, 800 or whatever. If you're a single mom, 5 kids, paycheck to paycheck, yeah, not free. But here's the thing, and you know who you are. I was just at Macy's the other day, man, because I had like this $30 gift card. There's nothing for $30, man. So there's like a little Starbucks store. I'm gonna use it there. I've been trying to use this gift card for like 5 years. There's nothing for $30 at Macy's, man. So there's like colognes for $130, a t-shirt for $150. If you're that guy or that girl who freaking dropped $150, you drop $200 on a hotel, you buy a nice watch, you know what, man? Invest in Darius. I'm just gonna say it. Invest. Like, what would you pay for be able to fly, walk through walls? People spend so much money on vacations. This is something, once you pick up the skill, when the floodgates open, then you can do that for the rest of your life. So if you're that person who drops, I'm not that person. If you're dropping $140 on a cologne and $200 on a hotel, you know what? Join Darius. If you're interested in this topic. If you're not, then you're, it's not for you. Anyways, guys, I guess I kind of want to wrap it up. But yeah, what he's doing is amazing, man. I got to respect that. Like I said, whether this is all, his imagination. Because the thing is, some of the stuff is, there's hundreds and thousands of people who've been projecting, But what he's been seeing, the construct and all the levels, and now how some of his students are seeing the same thing. What is that? I don't know, man. But the way he's been able to map this and explain it, man. Because he's not like Andre, his students did. Because he said he spent years doing this, and when you pay for that course, you're basically getting a shortcut to all that. Imagine you figuring all that out. So, yeah, man, just wrap it up there. Astral Diaries. I forgot to even mention anything about my channel. This channel is dedicated to astral projecting OBE experiences, where I share them and also share my mistakes, lessons I learned. So hopefully it helps you guys. Best way to support the channel is like, subscribe, watch some older videos based on title, thumbnail. Financially, there's buy me coffee option. Basically, it's a donation system, whatever you can afford. And that's it. I'll upload this for you guys. You know what? Today, so you guys can watch it today. That's it for now.